And now, the Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast.
Big D and Bubba, they have a show 5 days a week, but they don't get to say everything that's on their mind, so they have an extra one, and that's how we get the podcast, the podcast, the podcast. Big D and Bubba's podcast, the podcast, the podcast. Big D and Bubba's podcast.
I've never had a ticket in my life.
That guy's never had a ticket in his life. Hello.
Never.
Hello, everyone. Big shout out to everyone who is flipping on the podcast, and for those of you who flip us off,
That's a good joke.
Thank you. Coming to you from the O'Reilly Auto Parts studio. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. We're Big D and Bubba. And I just noticed something because last podcast we mentioned how I wanted to get one of the new Blaze Orange, the Hunter Orange coffee mugs, which mine is full of coffee. But what I was going to say is this. I've noticed something about all of our mugs. All of our mugs are left-hand mugs. Like, you can't drink this with the right hand. Because if you drink it with the right hand, the logo disappears.
The logo, but then you see it.
I know, but who's the logo for? I mean,
For you, if you bought it, it's for you. We didn't give those away. So it's not a promotional item as much as it's for you.
That's right.
I'm making that up.
See, but if I drink it with my left hand, I'm advertising.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the way we see it. Everyone else wants to see it. They're getting it for them.
Right.
You don't think it looks better? So
Seriously, normal people drink their mug to where they can see the thing that's on the mug.
Really?
Yes.
It's not about everybody else?
Nope.
I always thought that was what it was designed for, was like to be about everybody else.
No, I don't think so.
So is this a left-hand mug or is it a
That's a right-hand mug.
if I'm supposed to see the logo when I'm sipping? I don't know.
Get what you pay for, folks.
I'm
Free
just-
podcast.
How much is it to get double sides done?
I don't know, but I think this is a
Did we go
coffee-
cheap? I bet we went cheap.
I
didn't
think
we?
this is a coffee
We didn't
industry
go
fail.
cheap, but I mean, it does cost extra to get both sides.
Well, I don't know. Maybe this is something we need to, or maybe we need to go ahead and change it and look into possibly maybe making right-hand mugs. So everybody else, I don't know. Is this for me or for you?
I just want to be. I just want to be woke, and I want to do it the right way. I don't want to disparage
don't.
anyone. I don't want to be.
Please don't
What's
say
not
woke.
racist, but what's the?
Logoist?
I don't want to be a logo.
You don't want to be a logoist. This
No.
is not about. It's about keeping in mind and not offending those with the logo.
No, it's
or
bigger.
without the logo.
It's bigger than us. We have work to do.
Yes, we do. I'm
Do
gonna
the work.
Do the work.
Oh, that's the buzzword. man.
Oh, stop before
Well, you know
get
what's
in this
another?
rabbit
Speaking
hole.
of buzzwords, I hate the word pivot now. Every podcast I listen to is like, and so we pivot. I'm like, oh, and everyone says right.
Oh, and the other one is put a pin in that. When something gets uncomfortable, they always go, well, let's just put a pin in that.
I don't think Bubba turned the TVs off. I think you hit the thing to change.
Oh,
the-
really? I thought I did turn them
I
off.
like the blue though.
I do like the blue. It looks, it's bugging Patrick. Hi. Woo-hoo! So we're getting ready to see this big giant piece of Chinese rocket drop down somewhere. That'll be crazy. This weekend's going to be nuts. The Chinese space program launched this rocket, and there's a 10-story, 23-ton piece of this rocket that is going to be tumbling through space as it is right now, but then will enter the Earth's atmosphere, and it will crash somewhere on the Earth.
What's the
Interestingly
latest?
enough, the latest was, I saw earlier this morning, the U.S. government said we are not going to shoot it. Because that was kind of the thought, is as it's coming in, we could just take this thing out easily. You know, I mean, America can shoot that down without a problem. But they're saying it'll make more pieces, and then it scatters, and it's going to be more widespread, the damage. And they're just hoping most of it burns up. I'm like, well, if you blow it up really high, then wouldn't the pieces be smaller and they would have a chance to blow up even better? I mean, to burn up even better?
So shouldn't we know where this is going to fall?
Yeah, it's funny. We can launch
We can do everything else.
a probe that goes all the way out to Pluto. It takes 10 years.
Where?
Pluto.
No, you said Pluto.
I said Pluto because it's French.
Pluto.
Pluto.
It is France. Pluto. But yeah, so it takes like 8 or 9 years to get out to Pluto. They can figure out well in advance where this probe needs to be to get out there to go and look at this tiny little rock out in the middle of the outer atmosphere. Yeah. But yet they can't tell us where this projectile of Chinese rocketry is going to land.
Okay.
They know.
They can tell us. They're not telling us.
Why? Why?
I don't know why.
Who is this going to land on?
I don't know.
Roger Goodell?
What?
I don't know. I was just from watching the draft last week. Everybody was booing Roger Goodell, and it made me happy.
He's like remember, it's like a professional wrestler. When they boo you, that's
good.
Heel. He's a heel. I remember the time Bubba and I were maybe it was our first year together, and one of the whoever was in town, WWE or whatever, and wanted us to come out. You guys want to come out and
it was WWE
and introduce, like, welcome everyone. We're like,
so we got to go into the ring before everybody else, and we're like acting like we're tough. Like, you know, I go like in between, I pull it up, and I'm sliding in. Big D tries, because he wasn't going to climb it. He tries to slide under the ropes, like you see the guys do.
Nope,
didn't work.
You tried to slide under the rope.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't know this. Those ropes are like chains.
It's tension, man.
They're really tight, and they're chains, and they're or like metal,
like cable,
Yeah.
and then they have the protective thing around them.
Yeah,
man, those things are you can't move.
They're
like,
strong, bro.
You go and try and pull them apart, like open up a fence, back in the day.
Like Macho Man used to do. He'd open it up so Miss Elizabeth could get through.
Yes, that's how I did. I did the Miss Elizabeth entry. I did the pull up, and I got through on my own. I'm like, all right, okay, I did that.
I think I stepped over. I don't remember how I got in now.
I think you were going to go under, and then you popped up and went in between.
Why couldn't you go under? You didn't fit?
No, he was worried about the slide, because the whole idea was we were going to run out and do the slide. You know how the wrestlers do the slide under?
Who thought this was a good? I'm guessing 20-something-year-old Big D and Bubba thought this was a good idea.
It was going to be great.
Because there's no way, in knowing you now, you would think, "Oh, I'm going to run in."
Oh, we wouldn't do that.
Oh, and we did
We
run
wouldn't
in,
do
though.
that event at all.
We did run in. Well, knowing what we know now, we would never do we would go to the wrestling event, watch the wrestling event. We would never get in the ring.
I wouldn't
ever.
even. I wouldn't go at all.
Big D doesn't go anywhere.
You went TNA wrestling.
Yeah,
that was different.
Yeah,
we
that was
were
a different
different
for your
client.
son.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was a different thing. But yeah, and
Hulk Hogan stayed on the phone the whole time.
Yeah, I forgot that.
He didn't even talk to us.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah,
guys,
everybody
this is
else
Hulk
was
Hogan.
cool.
He was like,
Hulk just
that was in
Huntsville.
Huntsville. Yeah, that's right. Hey, Carson, what's up?
Hi.
Good to see you.
I don't get the alerts anymore when you guys start, so.
That's why. Oh, okay. For those of you who are on YouTube, click subscribe to the page, and then also there's a little bell. If you do the bell, it'll tell you the alerts.
That's what I need to do, because I know I subscribed.
You didn't smash that bell?
That way, anytime we do a new podcast live or we post a new video, you never miss anything.
I thought I heard voices, and I was like, oh, they're podcasting.
They have begun. So we get into the ring, and Big D, you can proceed to finish the story about how great it was.
It was so great, Carson. We were at WWE, and we get on in the middle of the mat, and everybody, we're Big D and Bubba, and boo! You suck! You shut up! Fat sauce! You suck!
Cuss word! Cuss word!
Dude, it was
so
awful.
we bring on. We're shattered. Egos were destroyed that day, and we were like,
You're so used to, if you don't know, you're so used to being on. You go out to do a concert announcement. You
Even
come
if
out
people
and
don't
people
know
cheer
you,
when they
they
see
cheer.
somebody.
Yeah, 'cause
and then
they're-
you go, "Hey, are you guys ready for
Yeah.
Kenny Chesney?" And everybody goes,
Yes,
"Yeah, it's great."
it was not like
Not
that.
like that.
It was not.
man.
They didn't want anybody other than the wrestlers in that ring,
No.
and we
It was
found that out
awful.
quickly.
That's the only. I think that's the only time I've been like straight out booed.
Yeah,
It's
and
still
like,
real to me, dude.
and so we get out of the ring, and we're just like shell shock. I felt like something like Grandpa's uncle's friend coming back from World War I. I was like,
Bob and I were like, we'll never do that
Never
again.
do that
Oh,
again.
I wish you had gone full heel turn. and just started like screaming at the
Well,
audience.
I think
like,
we
What's the
would.
matter with you people?
I think we would now, but
Yeah.
then we
Oh,
were
for
just
sure.
Shocked.
I
Because we had
know.
never experienced that before in our lives.
No, I wouldn't know what to do. I mean, I'd run out
And
crying.
what happens is once like 3 or 4 people start booing, then
They all
everybody,
do.
you know,
Everybody
it's
boos.
wrestling.
Yeah.
It's like the Lemmings thing. They all like dive in.
Oh, some of the chants when you go to wrestling that they don't stop, and they have to almost delay taping because they're like, we can't air this, and we need the audience to shut up.
Yeah.
And they won't.
It was brutal. It was like
It was like when the LSU band plays neck.
Except they don't stop the football game for that.
No.
it was like stepping off a Higgins boat.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to object there.
Oh, dude, the flack was coming at us hard.
I don't think it was the same as our grandfathers running into
Of course
Normandy
not, of course not.
to fight the
He was
Nazis.
making a joke.
It's a joke.
That's the problem with the world
No one
today.
can make any more jokes.
Jokes
You shall
are-
make no jokes.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about the old stuff we used to do on the show. We would. I mean, there was nothing that. It was kind of like South Park. Nothing was sacred. We would make fun of everything. Just
No, I mean it was.
We made fun of
were,
everything.
Like, we
didn't make fun
lot-
of everything.
Not everything.
Yeah, we did.
No, we did not.
We didn't make fun of
didn't.
things that we cared about. We just made fun of everything else.
Yeah.
no, we did.
we
Okay.
So so you talk differently around your buds than you do, you know, your spouse or your dad or your, you know, and
Like you
so
don't cuss in front of mama.
So we would do things where you would talk the way you talk around your buds, and the filters were not there.
And there was no cussing, and there was
No,
nothing
but-
blue or
No, it was just-
sexual. It was a lot more dudes making fun of everything.
Yeah, anyway.
Yes.
So
It's the stuff
And
like
you can't-
comedians used to do back in the
can't do it
day when
anymore.
they were on stage, and you could actually tell a joke without people, you know, raising flags, going, "That's offensive."
Yeah. I'm sorry, this joke offends me.
I want that. I want it like a paddle at an auction. Hold up, offensive.
It's so you have 2 sides. You have the
Yeah,
green side and the red side. It's green when it's not offensive, and you just hold it up, and you're like, after every joke, you go, like, "It's a rating system."
yeah, that worked.
Point of personal privilege. Please stop laughing. Laughing is triggering. This is triggering. That's coming.
Speaking of triggering,
We're almost there.
so you guys saw my tree fall.
That
Yeah.
was nuts.
Crazy.
So we had a little storm that came through yesterday afternoon into the Nashville area, and I'm sitting on the back patio. I've got a screened-in porch on the back, and it's elevated, so I live up on a hill, and so I'm kind of like tree level, like eye level with the top of the trees, and so you get really great views of these storms and stuff. And so I'm sitting there, and it just got really, really windy. And I just decided to take my phone out, and I just started recording, just seeing the wind hitting the trees. And as I'm doing that, I hear, and I turn, and here comes one of the biggest trees I have in the back, falling straight across, and I caught it all on camera.
How amazing that it didn't fall. I mean, there's houses at the bottom of the hill right behind you. It didn't fall on any of those. It just fell sideways.
It was like if you hired someone to come out and fell a tree, that's where they would put it.
And the cool thing is that you were there to catch it. I mean, what are the odds that you were going to catch that thing on
know.
camera
Right,
at that moment? I mean,
How
how
come
long
in
were you
the
out
video,
there?
How come in the middle of the video it like clips for a second?
So it kind of clips because I'm getting my fat butt out of the seat to go and like go, oh, so I can keep the camera going,
Right.
and my finger hit the record button, and then it hit it again. It was so fast, it was like, boop, 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 like it turned off and turned right back on. And so I just put the pieces back together.
I knew that. I just wanted to ask.
The good thing is,
You would
he
do
was
it.
there to film it and see it, so we know
And also, when you watch the video, you notice the pollen.
That tree just came down.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, there's all kinds of this
Fucking rock down
Shot
the
of what
bottom.
it looks like. Wow. It was just a huge tree. My neighbor, as soon as it went down, he called me. He's like, man, your tree
Get under there and
Yeah,
sleep.
I got it
It's
on
so
video. What? I'm coming over. So he came over, and then we went down.
You could
and
literally
looked at
get
the,
under there.
The tree was all rotten
Rotted
on the
at the
bottom.
bottom.
And so he's like, man, I'm glad it didn't fall on my house.
Who was it saying, you could just crawl under that? I'm going, no.
That was him.
I'm like, don't crawl under that. Please don't crawl under that. If it breaks anymore, you're dead. It will crush you.
Yeah, it was.
I'm going to go camp under that.
Wow.
So glad you got that.
But yeah, that was great. I don't know what the chances of it's not. I mean, it's pretty incredible, man.
So I have a big green transformer box, like electrical box that's on the. It's like in between my house and my neighbor's house, and it was blown off of its pad. It moved like
Yesterday?
12 to 15 inches over. Yeah, it spun.
Oh,
It looks
wow.
like somebody hit it with a car
You
and
know-
moved it off the thing.
This is the other thing that was weird that I had the news on yesterday, and I saw the thunderstorm warnings and stuff for other counties. And so then I start messing around and I'm sewing and I have my back door open. And I was on the phone with my friend. I was like, it's getting kind of windy out there. And I'm like, where was my warning? I felt like
You don't get one.
the meteorologist just didn't do. I was not impressed with their
Do you
job.
have a,
They weren't Riley King.
Yeah, that's right.
That facts.
Riley King,
Facts.
weather would have told you.
Do you not have a?
that? Google that.
You need a
Weather radio. Yeah.
Those are great.
When I moved out of the South like 7 years ago, I was so excited to get rid of the weather radio because then I wouldn't be scared anymore. And the problem was then I moved back and I didn't have a weather radio anymore.
Yeah.
So that was stupid.
They're nice. They're pretty neat. You can go and put it whatever county or parish that you're in, and because everyone in the country has a code, and
You put your code
you
in.
put your
I've
code
never had
in.
one. I've never had one.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I mean,
they're
I've got
great.
them. I've got them for emergencies where you spin. You know, you can turn the little handle and charge it, or you can leave it in the sun and it'll charge it.
What does it do though?
It's got a weather radio on it. They're
It's just
still in
repeating
the
the
box.
same thing
Yeah.
over and over.
Yeah, they're in the box. I
Yeah.
never use them.
A lot of meteorologists, they'll go set it up for you. You go to like a hardware store on a Saturday and they'll have the local TV people out there setting up your weather radio
What?
to tune it correctly. Yeah. I've seen that a lot of places.
It's not necessary. You could do it. It's not hard.
I know, but I could go meet someone famous. I could meet my
You
weather
think the
person.
local weather? Okay.
You're gonna meet Stormy. What's her face?
Yeah.
Stormy McStormface.
Yeah.
Leland Statham, whatever his name is.
Dude, I would go meet Leland Statham. I would.
See?
I would actually. That'd be kind of cool. He seems like a cool dude. What? He does.
I always love it that the weather people who have the dopey weather names, and then they just hold tight that that's their real name.
No,
I
man,
mean,
that's just
That's just what it is. No, my name is partly cloudy. Okay, no, it's really not. No, I was born. I was born
to do this.
Yeah, my name is Towering Cumulus. That's my name.
Towering cumulonimbus.
My brother's Cumulonimbus.
Yeah.
A friend of mine who's a pretty big deal meteorologist in the New York area, he has a side business where he does
Fake names.
he does weather stuff for celebrities and for celebrity events. So like he's the official meteorologist of the Oscars. To let them,
That's
and
a thing?
He did like Reese Witherspoon's wedding. And he had to sign all these disclosures before, because they couldn't get out that she was getting married. And who knew that was a job, but he does fairly well.
Not just telling us the weather, but actually predicting what the weather's going to be like for these events.
for
or
these,
the-
yep. So that way the Oscars
What?
know that they've got to have the tents up or ready to go, or if it's going to be cold, even if they have to get heaters.
Imagine having enough money to be like, I'm going to hire a meteorologist
Mm-hmm.
to help us plan our
Your
wedding.
own meteorologist.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, but they can get that same information from for free.
yeah, Twitter.
Like
You know, like-
anywhere. It's not like it's like it's a big secret.
I mean, you kind of know. You look at the 10-day forecast. You look at the 7-day, the 5-day. You go, we need to move this.
Apparently, there's something he must do because not only do they hire him, they repeatedly hire him every year.
Or he figured out a scam. Tell
Which I
people I
love,
can do.
yeah.
Because what are they
Yeah.
going to do? Get their money back if you say it's going to rain and it doesn't? No.
yeah.
I bet there's a no refund policy.
Oh,
I
I'm
bet you're
sure.
right, but-
Yeah.
And word doesn't get out. It's not like people are bad about it. We didn't know the job existed. It's not like people are out there going, hey, don't hire the custom meteorologist because you'll get it wrong.
The thing is, even if they get it wrong, you're going to go to somebody else who gets their information from the same exact place.
So, yeah.
So it doesn't matter who you hire.
Well, it matters that you hire my friend.
Oh, because
I want him to have money.
Oh, okay.
I want him to get it. So if you're going to hire anybody, hire him.
I have a friend who is the COVID compliance guy for all the country music videos. So like all these shoots that they do where they go out and they film and all that kind of stuff. He's just a paramedic and he's the COVID compliance guy. So he makes sure everybody's compliant. And
my godmother's been doing that for like major events.
Yeah, he makes
like
good
the Oscars
side money.
and the Grammys and stuff like that. And she got a job because she was an event planner and there's no events. So but her event planning business just basically fell apart. So she's been doing COVID compliance. They have to hire somebody because especially in certain states, they make them hire somebody to have on staff. All she does is just basically walk around and make sure everyone's wearing their mask and takes their temperature and ask them a bunch of questions.
It's your aunt that does it?
It's my godmother that does that. Like
the one who turns you into a prince?
No, that's a
How'd you get a godmother?
You don't have godparents?
No.
Oh.
I've got a god.
Okay.
What do you need what's a godparent?
I don't know. It's a Cajun thing. Everybody had godparents.
I have them too.
It's a Catholic thing.
Cajun.
Yeah.
But...
A lot of people, even not Catholics,
I'm not Catholic, and I have godparents. It's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
It's like a
it like
special
the mobsters have?
Got my nanny and my parent.
Well, I know from
my nanny and my parent. That's what we call them in Cajun.
My parent.
My parent.
Say that, Carson.
Say parent.
My mom and my parent.
My parent?
My nanny and my parent.
My nanny and my parent.
Parent.
Now, let's say you just walked up to the down the dock, and there's a shrimp boat, and there's a bunch of Cajun guys coming in from shrimping, and you're of course a good Cajun girl from Grand Isle. What you doing here, you? What would you? So what would you say to them?
What you gonna say to me, you?
If so, there. Go ahead.
Hello.
I don't find shrimp boating people.
Hi, how you doing, you?
How y'all? I don't know. What do you say to these people?
These people.
I love
these
put you on the
people.
spot. Big D, who lived in Louisiana and still can't do the accent. Worse than anyone I know.
Boy, may I? We went down to the park, yeah, and then we went and I saw my parent.
At least you did the
Hey,
park
what was
right.
that party we went to on Saturday night? In the street.
The Fedodo?
Oh, don't tell him. I was trying to get him to say it.
Oh, see, I thought it was a pop quiz.
No.
Well, then why would you? Anyway. So, Carson,
just
go
say
ahead.
Fade-O-Do.
Fade-O-Do. What was your story, Carson, before we interrupted?
I don't even know.
No.
So it's fine. It doesn't matter.
Okay. So, probably
okay.
something that you're.
It's probably something boring. Oh, the
COVID.
the godparents thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
No, I was saying from a religious aspect, it's supposed to be that if something happens to your parents, that these are the people that you entrust to continue the child's religious teachings.
It's supposed to be the people who will take you to church if something happens to your parents.
Yeah.
In the old days, it was also who would what
who
we now
would take
have
you
is,
in.
What do they call it?
Custodian, guardian.
Yeah. But they call it not a living will, but like they call it something like that, where you leave something in your will that says who's going to take your kids if you die. So, it used to just be the godparents.
Which, by the way, none of y'all asked me to take care of your kids. What's up with that?
Well, I have none.
Well, I
so
know.
I'm
but
excluded.
Patrick, Big D, nobody entrust me.
No, sure.
I sent an email.
Don't you read my blog? What's up with that?
I left it in a note at the gym.
You know my weakness.
You have identified my weakness.
I left it under a bag of carrots. You didn't see that? That was in there. My goodness.
I don't know why the carrots.
We have to say hi to Lane, who will not hear this for another 5 years, but Lane called and he wanted to let us know that he's been enjoying the podcast and he's at like episode 111. He's like, yeah, I think you just showed up.
Oh, that's cool.
And I go, well, that was 5 years ago. So from 2026, hi, Lane. Hope it's going well.
Wow, that's
You
awesome.
just showed up.
I love hearing people that start at podcast number
Yep.
one and, have listened that way. Like they caught one and went, oh, let me go back and start from the beginning. Because there's a lot of little tiny inside jokes that go on that you just don't get unless you've listened to the whole thing. And one of my favorite episodes is the one where we wrote the podcast jingle. I mean, that was early on.
Number 6, I think.
Yeah, and you get to see how the whole creative process
I listened to that a couple
happened.
months ago. It is funny.
Is it?
It is just classic. The three of us, just you
And,
making fun of me making fun of you,
Yeah,
him
yeah.
making fun of you. It's just all piles
And
on.
Carson, which podcast was it that you were born on? 105?
111.
Oh, I have no
It
idea.
was 10 something.
Yeah, he just said, yeah, he was listening to. He happened to be on 111, and he said, yeah, you were fairly new.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm telling him from the future. When you listen to this in 2026, hi Lane.
Well, it can't be a podcast without bringing up James Vanderbeek. He is Carson's.
We got Vanderbeek news?
Hope not.
Oh, we need a jingle.
No, we
We'll
don't.
have Matt do a jingle.
Patrick, grab that guitar. We're doing it.
Why? No, because I'm not singing a jingle. Then you're just going to have Dingle Dork redo it.
Oh, that really
Where
got you,
is-
didn't
yeah,
it?
I did.
Where is the good guitar?
It's right over there in the case.
Well, maybe you could just
want
kind
me
of
to
iron
sing
out
it?
a demo about some Vanderbeek news, and then we'll have the professional come in and tidy it up
Great.
and make it nice and good. Yeah, we had Patrick. So we used to, for years, we had a like a listener mail jingle. And so Patrick would sing it, and he did. People, they don't like us. No, people, they hate us a lot. It's Big D and Bubba. Hey, man. I mean, it's awful, but it's so memorable. And
Yeah.
And so we had a guy who does he does our jingles, Matt.
Could have just had me re-sing it if you didn't like
And
the version.
but
My
he
version-
does
my
you.
song
But
is-
yours is always the same. It's a guitar and you singing, and it's fine. But we wanted it to be produced up. And
Say it. You wanted it to be professional.
yeah, I did, but sometimes the ones you do are good. Like we still use your. We could have had them do the podcast, but
Ah,
we were.
That's when I'm out, by the way. You redo the podcast
Oh, that's
jingle.
you. That's the last
that's
straw?
one too far.
Here, wait. I'm going to go
I
to
have
the
no idea
original
if this is
hate mail
tuned.
jingle. You ready?
People who don't like us know it's people they hate us a lot. It's Big D and Bubba's hate mail. Big D and Bubba's hate mail.
And then the music. And it goes into Star Wars,
like that a
whatever.
lot.
Empire.
I like
theme.
that too. It's better than the new one. I'm just saying. Can I just make sure this is tuned?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah. Go ahead.
shockingly is in tune.
So I was just thinking that it would be nice if we had a jingle, opening, whatever. Whenever we have new information, I'm going to look it up on.
What do you have on Vanderbeek? Do you have
So
something?
are you rhyming with James or with Vanderbeek?
Am I rhyming? Or is
Well,
there going to be
well,
Are we
rhyming?
Well, you're
talking
writing a
about
song.
Vanderbeek? Let's really get back to that. Why? Remember when I was going to
It's
not
just a
say
funny
anything
thing
mean
to-
about him anymore?
Yeah.
Remember I was going to do that?
Yeah, no,
Remember?
that doesn't happen.
No.
Beek. You guys do not want to know how I spelled Vanderbeek. It's embarrassing.
I do actually.
So let's go to
put an
his.
A in it?
Let's go to his Twitter. Golly, how many kids does he have?
I think he's got like 4 or 5, maybe.
His latest tweet is food for thought. Number 2 is a big one, and one of stupid. I get why you don't like this guy.
His tweet's that bad.
Just dumb. It's people who write things on social media like they're the all-knowing wise one.
Yes.
And they're just sending us nuggets of wisdom and truth.
Here's a little
He's
nugget of
quite
wisdom from Vanderbeek.
pretentious. Yes.
Books and the internet are big on milestone timetables. But I've never met an adult who wasn't potty trained or didn't walk because they didn't learn in time. Kids do stuff at their own pace. Much easier to sync up and support rather than force or fret.
What in
Thank you,
God's
James
name is-
Vanderbeek.
what?
Ew.
That's
Vanderbeek is weird. And that's why Carson doesn't like him. That's not really why. It's because they used to go to school together and he was really like that kid that everybody hated.
And his mom was like the stage mom who made sure that he got all the parts in the plays. And it's also fun to say Vanderbeek, because it's a weird name. Just imagine little 12-year-old Carson. She's trying to be Mary in the play. It's not gonna happen. But, oh, you know, James Vanderbeek was Joseph because he's always Joseph. That's what we do. We make sure the Vanderbeeks have got to get the prime spot in this thing. You know
And
what
he
I'm
was
saying?
Jesus, and he was Mary.
That's right.
And a
She
sheep.
played all the parts.
And James Vanderbeek.
Did he sing? Was he like when he was young? Was he also like the guy who did all the
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, the show tunes and
I
stuff?
moved to Texas with my wife and 5 kids, and I'm learning more about parenting and baby father every day. I've decided to use this platform to share stuff I wish I'd heard before our first
what is
kid.
that?
I'm doing his
Is that his
Mox.
voice
That's his
from,
Mox voice from Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues.
Yeah.
I don't want your life.
I don't want your life.
But I want my life, and I'm in Texas. So I'm going to tell you I got wisdom from being in Texas for 2 months.
Look, man,
where
Texas
everybody
does-
wishes I would leave.
I will tell you, Texas can fix him. Texas can fix James
No,
Vanderbeek.
they're all looking at him going, please leave. Please get out of here.
I think they are.
Please leave, James Vanderbeek.
James Vanderleave.
Well, how about this, Patrick? How
Okay.
about sing a song? So you and James went on a road trip together.
Okay.
And you went to Graceland in Memphis. So can you give us?
This is like the Who's line is it anyway?
I know.
So,
what is
give
this?
us,
It's improv. We're just gonna make stuff. I'm like Wayne Brady over here. I'm like fat white Wayne Brady.
Give us that story of what happened on your road trip with James Vanderbeek.
Well, I went on a road trip with me and James Vanderbeek. We went down to Graceland. And we don't clap, do you?
Oh,
really?
don't
You are.
Sorry.
I'm like, where's
It's
that
like
noise
Adam
coming
Sandler
from?
during the turkey
It's
song.
Like, don't
you're
really messes
messing
me
me up
up.
with
Yeah,
what
it does.
I'm sorry.
I was like, where's that rhythm? It's so bizarre.
Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick and James Vanderbeek.
And so we're in the car, and we stopped at a roadside stand and bought some tomatoes. Because James was like, man, I bet those are good tomatoes. And I was like, nah, I don't know. You see that guy? He's always on the side of the road. And I'm probably, yeah, okay, we can stop.
Wait, wouldn't James Vanderbeek say tomatoes?
No, I
because
say
he's from
tomatoes.
Texas now. And so he doesn't say pretentious stuff like tomatoes.
He'll still call you an aunt.
That's right. So we stopped at the roadside fruit stand, and then we put some gas and grabbed some of those, what do you call those things? It's got like the pizza ones?
Combos.
Combos. I like the pretzel combos, but James, he's really into pepperoni pizza. That's weird. But whatever, dude. That's what happens when you're from Connecticut and you eat pepperoni pizza combos on your way to Graceland. So then we got to Graceland.
I feel attacked.
And I said, hey, James, you know, I know this girl. She went to middle school with you. He was like, nah, I don't remember. That's Carson's nightmare right there. That's what
No,
she
I would
do.
love it. Oh, gosh.
And
What's
coming in the
worse?
door, ladies and gentlemen, James
James
Vanderbeek.
Hey.
Carson, what
One
will be
day.
worse? When we
One
get
day.
James Vanderbeek
No.
in studio,
No.
what will be
What?
worse? If he remembers you or if he doesn't remember
Oh,
you?
if he doesn't.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
If he doesn't remember you, that's worse?
No. Oh no.
no.
If he does remember, because then
Oh.
because if we just pull, he's like, yeah, I don't know, I don't know who that is, and we'd be like, oh,
And that's fine.
You know, it's not as funny anymore telling you about all the ways she's made fun of you, and then you guys won't tell him those things, and I will feel much better about life.
Have you guys had somebody like reach out on Facebook from your childhood that you have like 60 shared friends with, and you don't
And
have
I don't
a
know
clue
who they are.
are?
Dude, all the time.
Yep.
But in my defense, I went to a high school. There were 505 seniors at my graduation. So when we were freshmen, there were almost 1,000 of us. I don't know all those people, man. I couldn't. There was just too many people.
I feel so terrible. They and like they'll write a note and it lands in your little inbox and you find it like 6 months later and you're like, oh wow, I feel terrible now.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I don't, because I figure, you know what? You weren't nice to me in high school, or you didn't talk to me, so why should I talk to you now?
Did you ever go to your high
Reunion?
school reunion, Carson?
No, I haven't been to one of them.
Really?
No, they're always on Thanksgiving weekend. Because I think a lot
Who does a high school reunion on Thanksgiving
right.
weekend?
I think it's so ridiculous.
Oh, actually, though, I see their point, though.
Their
Everybody
point
comes
is-
home for
okay,
Thanksgiving.
but none of them left. Everybody went away to college and they all came back to Cheshire. So most of them live within probably a 2-hour drive. And I know a lot of people who had high school reunions over the summer. And the idea was that they would rent out like a recreational thing. So you could, okay, we're going to go, but you can go boating or whatever. And no, they want you to meet at some stupid restaurant in my hometown. And we're going to take it over for a night. I'm like,
Stacy's high school, they were doing their big reunion plans. And they wanted to go on a cruise.
oh, look. Like not like a 3-hour cruise?
No, like a 1 week, 7-day cruise with all. Could you imagine going back to high school again? Because everything's cliquey and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't take long to fall back into your little groups. And could you imagine being in high school for 7 days?
I also I haven't stayed in super close touch with many people from high school. So if I went, I think I'd be alone most of the time. Because I'd be like, oh, hey, you. And I'd have about 3 minutes of conversation. Then I'd be like, well, I guess I'm going to go play shuffleboard. Because I don't have anything else to say to you. I don't know these people anymore. It's been years.
I've never been to mine.
No.
I went to mine, and it was fun. I
got one coming up
drunk.
next year. Probably I might go. I've never been, but I keep thinking that would be.
Well, I will.
I'm gonna be so fat. I know everybody got old and a lot of people got fat, but dude, I got really fat.
Well, I will.
So,
if you trim the beard and the hair, you look really good, man. And
I still look really fat. Like we're talking.
but there's a
compared
difference between
to the 190-pound kid who graduated from high school.
I get
I'm
that.
like 2 of that kid.
I get that, but everybody else got big too. But what I was going to say is, you look good, and you look presentable, and you look professional, and you look like you're the man in charge.
Bi-yearly pitch for me to trim my beard.
To trim,
Just
yeah.
so stupid.
What was lucky for me is that I have always been a chub. So really, I'm about the same as I was in high school, but I learned how to dress better and do my hair better. So now I look cuter. So she's still a little chubby, but like she was chubby then. So the girl that gained like 30 pounds will be like,
Oh, yeah.
whoa, what happened to Sarah? And they'll be like, oh, Carson, boy, you haven't aged at all.
Yeah.
That's like my one thing going for me.
What I don't like is the guys who were fat in high school that are now like ripped and in crazy good shape.
How many of those are there?
There were 3 from my class, which is really big when you consider that half of my class is either dead or in jail now because most of them were felons and insane people.
Well, were they in felons? Were they in the yard? Pumping
That's
iron?
how you get.
Maybe. I don't know. I
do
don't
it.
know.
Change
But
a lot.
yeah, you see these people and you're like, oh man, he used to be fat.
Patrick, I feel like you want to play another little song for us. What's that redheaded girl song you used to do?
I'm not singing. I don't know any of my old songs.
Oh, man. Those are some of the best of your originals.
I can't tell if he's making fun, but I
No, I
assume
like
he
them.
is.
He used to he used to like that song. He did.
Yeah, redhead girl.
Way back when.
No,
He used to
now I
talk
just
about it all
make
the
up
time.
songs. Now I just make up songs about people who call in or
Okay, well, let's do
whatever
this.
weirdness.
All right, so I need someone to. I'll tell you this. How about you could do a song about the cicadas, which are making
Oh
their
God,
way.
are they coming back?
Yes, this is a 17-year or 11-year cycle, and so now they are coming back into a large swath of the United States. Where they
By the
crawl-
way, the best bass fishing of your life is during cicada season. Seizing.
They live underground and they stay underground for years, and then they make their way out every 17 years or 11 years, whatever it is, and they burrow a hole. And I'm telling you all this for your to write. Do you need a pen?
No.
And so they poke their head out the hole, all right, and they look around and they're like, okay, it's not time yet. I'm just taking a look.
They're
see
coming
what's
out.
up.
They're going. Everybody upgrade.
They're under the ground?
They're in the ground. They're in
I
the
thought
ground.
they lived in the trees.
No, not that's the.
No,
I'm
that's
getting
where
there.
they.
So they are underground. They pop their head out. They look around, get a survey, and then they're like, okay. They go back. Then
They tell their friends.
they all have the secret cicada network, and they text each other and they go, hey, on this night, we're breaking out. And then they all pop up out of the hole, and then they climb up whatever the nearest vertical thing is. Tree, building,
Leg.
and then they go all the way up and they get in the tree, and then that's when they shed their skin. And that's when they leave those crusty, and they're like claws, and they're like onto it. And then they're red eyes, and they're black, all that. And that's when they get pow, chicka, pow, pow, and they go
right,
and they go clubbing.
So wait, they only go clubbing. They only go clubbing once every 17 years.
No, once. They do it once.
One
those
time,
die.
and then they die.
They lay the eggs, and then don't the cicadas who came out? Don't they all die?
Oh, I'm so glad I'm a human.
Because it's just the eggs that come back in 11 years or whatever.
Yeah, it's your story.
Man, I don't know.
It's your song.
We're not trying to write a factually accurate
I
cicada
gotta tell
song.
you, there was a girl I used to work with, I guess the last time cicadas were a thing. She literally planned her 2 weeks of vacation so she could just be inside the house because she was so deathly afraid of them.
Oh, yeah, they made I remember, though, we had just moved here and the cicadas were coming, or maybe it was a few years later. They made it like it was going to be
Swarms.
the locusts. Like, here, they're coming, and it's going to be bad. Nobody leave your house. Like,
this girl had a full beekeeper's outfit, and how I know that is because she went on the news.
Oh,
What?
no.
The news did a story.
She was that. She
What?
was that bizarro.
you
Yeah,
don't
and-
want to be that person.
No, you're
and
so
this wasn't a
weird.
radio person like doing it for attention because she worked in. She did accounts or something, like record keeping. This was just a woman who was so deathly afraid of these bugs that she was going to sequester for 2 weeks.
So, Patrick, you have enough information on cicadas.
You really want me to write a cicada song?
Yeah.
No, you don't even have to write it. Just make it up.
Yeah. Don't write anything. That's what we're asking.
I feel like I should write children's songs. Like I should take this kind of stuff
You
and then
should.
just
Agreed.
sing
You should.
stupid little children's songs. Mm-hmm. Like, and then you just create a character.
Gary?
No,
Nanny G.
no.
Gary.
I mean, in the song, you make a
I
song about.
love Gary
you can't
singing
just-
children's
I'm not
songs.
saying
Yes.
I can't
Is
sing
James
like
Vanderbeek
Gary.
your character?
I meant instead. I mean, in the song, like
What do you
instead
mean?
of singing a song about cicadas, you'd have to sing a song about one cicada, like
Gary?
Katie the cicada.
Oh, I got you. That's good. One cicada.
Cicady.
Two cicada, three cicada. Hey.
Does every rose has its thorn in this cicada?
Yeah, that wasn't every rose. Close.
Sounded.
It's close. The first two chords. You know what? I can't do this if you're gonna do sounds alike at the same
is
time
this gonna
because they're
be-
all gonna sound alike, Carson.
Is this going to be the like a silent lucidity cicada song?
Yeah, it goes like this. It goes, Katie the cicada. I can't do too much more because
was
we'll
really
get
good.
into where we're violating
All right,
some
let's
kind of
hear
thing.
Katie the cicada. Come on, Patrick!
Cicadas. Okay. Gather round, kids. Don't be scared. Cicadas aren't scary and they don't bite and they don't sting. You just need to know that sometimes a cicada can be your friend. Like one special one. Her name is Katie the cicada. So Katie was born underneath the ground. And she's been living there for 11 or 13 or 17 years. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can hear Bubba or if it's just me that can hear him doing it.
I don't know if you can hear me either.
Oh, it's so fantastic. So, cicadas are born underground, and they live there for really, really, really long time. And then one day, one of them goes,
Hey.
I think it's time to go peek outside. I'm gonna crawl up to the surface and take a look.
What's that?
And that was Katie's job.
Oh, yeah.
Katie was a very, very special cicada. She crawled to the surface and looked around, and it was pretty outside, and the weather was nice. And she was like, "Hey guys, I think we can all go outside." Go outside. So all the cicadas came out at once, and it was freaky because they all make this noise and go. And then they all make cicada babies. Yeah. And the babies go back underground, and all the old cicadas die.
That took a turn.
And that's pretty much the whole song. Except we now visit Katie the cicada. Having laid her eggs, who are now underground, Katie's just sitting in the tree waiting to die. Yeah. And she's like, you know what? It was a good life. I wish I'd come up sooner because it was a lot more fun up here than it was under the ground.
Yeah, because they're making cicada babies.
Come on, man.
That was pretty great.
Man, if you were tuning into this podcast to hear entertainment, you should have picked a different one.
Somebody is going to Google YouTube cicada song, and it's going to pop up.
I hope so.
Yeah. And you'll be the only
it.
song that...
We should maybe lift that segment
Oh,
of
yeah.
the podcast.
We should
and we'll have it
totally
as...
accept that we should not because it was bad.
No, that's going to happen. That needs to happen. It'll be its own thing. You will live on in cicada infamy. Every 17 years or 14 years or whatever the little thing is when they come up to make their love and all that stuff,
Make their
you're going to
babies,
be a
and then
thing.
we're gonna be that's right, Katie the cicada. It's a thing.
Brood X is the latest one. Now, this is Brood
X.
Brood X. Why don't they name them after the generations that happened? Like, why don't they call them?
Well, they're literally
Brood Z?
they're all on these weird prime numbers. Like there's an 11-year brood, a 13-year brood, and a 17-year brood.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
fractals.
That's like bro dudes all together, broods.
Trillions of Brood X cicadas emerging for the first time in 17 years. This is some 18 hours ago. And some people have already said they've started seeing them coming out of the holes. What's so funny about that?
I'm just,
funny
I
about
had the
that, Mo?
vision of, what's that little cartoon that you showed me that your son watches? Asdef or whatever it's called?
ASD, what is it?
Asdef or whatever. Yeah. So you said you saw the cicadas coming out, and I could just hear him go, they see the cicada pop up out of the ground going, I'm gay. That'd be funny. Like, that's
Oh,
what
he
they
came
do
out.
on
The
Asdef.
cicadas
They
came out.
Oh,
they
gotcha.
said that. They were like, okay, never mind.
Oh boy.
I just saw the Asdef joke come out in a little cicada drawn in black and white art.
When did you start playing guitar?
When I was 14 or 15. Try to get attention from girls.
Was that the reason?
Of course.
Well, okay.
That's pretty much why we all do it.
Did you play any other instrument?
I played piano before that, but it's hard to bring a piano with you to a party.
Sure.
You know, you can figure out how to bring a guitar,
Right.
and
So
girls sit around and you sing "Every Rose Has Its Thorn" or whatever.
So
song
you just
learn.
self-taught?
Yeah,
Just
I've never
Can
taken
you
a
read
lesson.
music or anything?
I can't read music.
what was the
If you're
first song
watching
you ever-
this and you're a real guitar player, you're like, it's obvious because I only know like 6 chords. and I
What's the
make it
first
up.
song you sang? You played? You learned?
The first song I learned how to play was "Disarm" by the Smashing Pumpkins.
Okay. Do you still remember?
I still remember it. I
Yeah.
can probably still play it. I can't play it because the podcast is probably,
Yeah, I got it.
you know, but
So you started playing, and how long did it take before you could actually get to something where you could go and play in front of people?
oh, I'm sure I was really, really terrible, but like it doesn't take long before you think that's close enough.
Sure.
Because in your head, you're filling in the gaps
Yeah.
of what it's supposed to sound like. You know, I think in the beginning
That's
I
how I
could
do
only
our
play
radio
on-
show.
I think in the beginning I could only play on 4 strings, and I used to keep the 2 bottom strings muted with these fingers, so when you hit them, it doesn't make any noise. Or
So
it
you
doesn't-
wouldn't sound like you'd mess up?
Yeah, so because I could only play chords with like it's a lot easier to play 4-chord songs. So I learned how to play like that, and then later I developed the ability to play all 6 strings.
Yeah.
So
So
nobody teaches you to play like that. It's really, really bad.
were you just
I was telling Bubba, like power chords are just where you put one finger on a string and the other 2 fingers on the next 2 strings, 2 frets over, just like this. So that's basically just 3 notes, but it's a chord. It's most rock and roll music, or Bubba was talking about starting a punk band or playing punk songs. I'm like, dude, you can play power chords on a guitar. It's not hard. So you just play that. And if you can splice them together in whatever garage band or whatever you're using.
What Big D doesn't know is I want to do a parody band. And I want it to be like these, and you know me with my dumb ideas I have all the time. Yeah. I have the world's greatest punk band name in my head, and it's all about the merchandising. The merchandising is going to be killer.
okay? You can't say what it is.
I can't say what
No,
it
I
is
don't wanna
because
say
somebody will
'cause
steal
somebody
it.
will steal it.
Write it
Because
down.
it's so
Write it down.
genius.
Write it
You
down.
won't even get. You won't even get it.
I'll get it.
You won't even get it.
Yeah, it was. I barely got
I
it.
want to see it.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
No.
No.
That's why. That's because it's so good.
'Cause-
It's never been done before, and it is the most punk name ever.
Guess what? It's a pun. If you guys didn't know,
It is a pun.
Bubba's making
It
a
is
pun.
a pun, and it will be a punk band.
Oh boy.
Pun.
Can you just make the merchandise? Do you even need a band to go with it?
I don't know. I don't know.
That seems way more
I
punk
could.
to me.
I could.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I
we're going to
could.
sell you something, and you're such a poser, you're going to buy it. Punked. Like, that's it,
Okay,
right?
well,
Yep.
maybe. But it'll happen. But I was thinking if we had the band to kind of just go, because I can
Yeah.
get on GarageBand on my
Make some stuff up,
laptop and
dude.
be like, meh, 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 meh. I could do one chord at a time and
I
make
wanna
it
hear
sound
that.
great.
I want to hear
I
that.
want to hear it too. Bubba just writes songs.
So you're 15, 16 years old,
Right.
and you're in New Iberia, Louisiana, and are you growing your hair out?
No, I didn't have long hair.
Not yet.
No.
So you're playing guitar. Are you just racking and stacking them?
No. Not when I was 15, no.
Body count.
It took me a while to even get good enough to where, like, people wanted me to sing at parties. And, you know, yeah.
God, there is
rough.
nothing worse than when somebody drags out a guitar at a party.
See, I had a friend, I had a buddy, my buddy Dwayne,
I hated it
who
so
was
much.
basically you guys before I met you guys.
He was
My-
big.
No, he was just, you know, he was... He had that attitude.
Oh, you're gonna play
hated-
Oasis.
He's like, oh God.
Great.
I'm
Oh, you know
play guitar.
Wonderwall? Fantastic.
I'm going outside
Oh,
and drink by the bonfire.
John Mayer. Stunned to hear that. Oh,
We didn't have John Mayer when I was a kid, but yeah, we all played Wonderwall by Oasis.
uh-huh.
Yeah, of course you could play that, man. That was a chick getting
Can you give us a
song
first
right there.
chord?
How does a Wonderwall go? It's like
You asking the
That's
wrong
it. That's
chick.
it. Yeah, that's perfect.
no, I don't remember, man. I don't.
And so, so you're playing guitar. You're going to parties. You're getting more and more popular.
I don't know that I was ever popular, but
And then, what were you still in high school when you started kind of putting on weight and it was harder to play it?
no.
Like,
What?
in high-
What a
What
wonderfully
do you mean harder
leading
to play it?
Because your belly's sticking
Because
out.
my belly's sticking out because the guitar
Because I can
looks
see
like
it now.
yeah,
It's
really
it seems,
rough.
It seems awkward.
No, I didn't get this fat until now. Like, I was never this big.
I'm just messing with you.
No kidding. Were you?
I actually thought it would be better because you can,
No, it's awful.
Really?
Oh yeah, this guitar is not. Of course, it's
It looks like it's out like where a mariachi band would have
strap
it.
is like,
You got a
It
big
is.
giant guitar.
and it's mostly because the strap is too small for me and the guitar. But it's the only one.
Oh, yeah,
we
how
have.
about when they come up to your table and you're like, oh God, you see them over there, and the next day you're like, don't come over here, please don't come over.
No,
here.
and I am so
go over
embarrassed
there.
every time they come over because my wife always goes, "Play Macarena." She's that lady.
Oh, God.
I'm like, no. At least request some Selena or something, if you're gonna.
Can you play me some Ricky Martin? No.
No.
It's the worst. White people at Mexican restaurants with mariachi bands embarrass me.
Yep.
Because they know 3 songs, and it's like, do the ketchup song, and I'm like, no, stop.
What?
The
Can you
ketchup
play
song.
La Bamba?
Los Ketchup. Remember Los Ketchup?
It's always somebody's birthday. at
White
my
people are the
table.
worst, man.
Hey,
I'm just
it's his
saying.
birthday.
I apologize for all of you guys because
Look, man, a mariachi band is just basically a dressed up Patrick at a party. I don't want to hear the guitar at my dinner table. I don't want to hear it while I'm drinking a beer by a bonfire.
I never thought about that.
Yep.
That hurt my feelings a little, Carson.
I mean, God love you, but
Okay, so wait a minute. So Patrick got into it to play guitar. Do you think that's why the mariachi band is like walking around? Do you think they're trying to pick up chicks?
No,
I
now they're
mean,
getting paid, but
yeah.
I guarantee you, when that guy started
they-
playing guitar,
yeah, that's
he was
why.
trying to pick up.
that's why
chicks.
most dudes.
Oh.
So, yeah, because like the drummers don't get into drumming to pick up chicks because that doesn't work.
Okay, so why did people learn to play the accordion then?
You mean who? Weird Al?
No, I mean it's a mainstay in Tejano. It's like the accordion is like in
Okay,
a
because
lot
that's
of
a
great
specific
songs.
type of music that does ask for it.
But
in
nobody goes for the accordion player.
Not true. In
It's-
that music, they do.
Right.
It's
Really?
like in Cajun music back in the day.
Yeah.
The accordion
Really?
player was the main
People
guy.
are getting a hookup with the accordion player?
Dude, man.
do you understand? chicks. Man.
No,
No.
apparently
Oh my
I don't.
God.
No.
We see a dude on stage, and we don't care if it's an accordion. I don't care if he's playing the triangle. Like, ooh, he
Think
got
about how ugly some of these lead singers are. Look, if you saw Mick Jagger in his prime walking down the street as an
know.
accountant,
I would
you
feed
wouldn't
him.
pay any attention to him.
He is the sexiest man alive, and Patrick's not wrong. That's saying that I wouldn't pay attention.
He was actually,
if he
I
was
hung
like-
out
Still
with him
would've
one
been
night,
rich.
and he was super, super cool. Very
Did you
nice.
hang out with him, or you was bouncer?
I was his bouncer. I was his
Okay.
security, but I got to hang out with him for like 4 hours. Well, it was really about
Carson
3.
calling out
Hey,
Bubba,
next
like,
to him.
But no, that's fine because I was sitting here.
No,
like-
it's cool.
like
Hey, that's
me
closer
you.
to Jagger
Actually,
than I've been.
I've touched him.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but I was,
So-
I mean, it was cool. He and Keith Richards, very cool dudes. Very nice, very cordial. They left a great tip. I don't remember what it was, but they gave me a tip just for kind of watching out for him. I'm like, yeah, it's
Well, I
all
hope
right.
that they give me those rescheduled tour dates so I can resume my place in the pit and be very close to Jagger.
You love you some Jagger.
I do, man. That's my. I love Charlie though, the drummer. But even that, why? Why? I'm a girl, and I'm like, ooh, the drummer. It's like an old dude sitting behind a kid.
Is it because okay, the drummer and the accordion player? Is it because everybody else goes for the lead singer and the lead guitar guy? So you guys go, okay, so who's more accessible?
It is the girls with the lower self-esteem who are like, well, no one's going to go for the bass player. I'll say I like the bass player.
The bass
Like,
player
no.
is usually the chunky guy too.
Yeah, but it's just they're like he's the one they don't let him sing, they don't let him talk, and you're like, oh, girls won't go. I'll have a shot with him. Dude, there's a guy on stage. He's elevated literally, and we're like, that makes you hot. That makes you hot to girls.
We need a stage. I have a stage. Let's see if I get hotter.
Bubba
I
has
mean-
a stage. Put that stage down.
Dude,
Hotter?
I can tell you from personal experience.
Hotter or no?
Even in my 20s when I had a fairly cool job working in radio and I was, I was in better shape. I was thin. None of that was helping me hook up with girls. But man, you go out to the club on a Friday night and stand in front of that rock band.
How about how about the state tournament speech and debate?
That never helped.
Didn't.
Never. I'd even show them my gavels. I'd be like, y'all want to see my gavels? I never.
Bubba showed a couple of girls his gavel.
No, I dated a guy that was in a cover band. And the amount of women that would throw themselves, and it was a Rush cover band.
Oh, God.
And so the women that are there have already just got to be there because dudes brought them. But man, they're throwing themselves at Craig's feet. Like, I don't even know how to say who he is because I can't say Geddy Lee because who's throwing themselves at Geddy Lee?
We were talking about before we did the podcast. We were talking about Frankie Valli turning 87 years old, and I was telling you about like 2 months before the lockdowns began. I went and saw him as like an 85-year-old man on stage. He couldn't move. He moved just very slow, very slow. But God, the girls in there, I say girls, the women, because we were the youngest people there.
The ladies.
They were like literally throwing panties at him.
Yeah.
Gives me back my dignity.
I mean, it was the craziest
Dude, the amount of
thing.
times I've seen Barry Manilow, and Barry doesn't move quite as well, and he's had a lot of work done on his face, so his face doesn't move as much. And we know that he likes guys. Doesn't matter to these women; they are losing their minds.
Patrick likes guys. I like guys. Who doesn't like guys?
Well, he's married to one, so you know.
Yeah. Well,
Barry is married to Gary.
Patrick likes guys.
Barry
his
is married
husband's-
to Gary. I think that's great.
His husband's name is Gary.
That's so it's all rhymey.
Patrick, sing
Barry
a song
married
about how you
Gary.
like guys.
Why did you make it? Why, it wasn't
I'm just
embarrassing
saying.
enough. You had to make
It's
it
not,
weird.
dude.
This
it's not
goes back to
embarrassing
what
at
the
all.
show used to be.
This is the show. This is what
It's
we're
the
trying
old
to
Why are you
show
embarrassed?
where we
Why
would
are you embarrassed
pick on
about that?
dudes for being dudes.
Why are you being embarrassed about
Because
that?
guys get uncomfortable about it, and it's so fun to watch them just get uncomfortable.
Dude, it's fine, man. Dude,
You turning
you
off
do
the
you.
guitar?
Yeah, I'm done. I don't
He's
wanna
like,
hold this
I'm
anymore."
done.
No, it's hurting my back, man.
The guitar?
This strap is way
You
high.
would think it would hurt your belly.
I'm fat, man. I don't want to do it anymore.
The guitar doesn't
This is
weigh
my
anything.
favorite thing ever. It hurt my back.
You guys are jerks. You know that?
Hey, do you have some Advil in there? You might want to go ahead and get ahead of the pain.
I have some muscle relaxers.
It's just making me sit in a weird way. It's holding me.
I know. Bless your heart, man. Thanks for doing that.
It was a tremendous amount of fun.
That was a lot of
Hero.
fun. Thank you, man.
We ought to,
Seriously, thank you.
I appreciate it. It was fun.
What?
Every now and then. We don't
Snaps
do
for
it enough.
Patrick.
Snaps,
All right.
everybody.
Everyone give him Patrick some snaps.
I will never
I used to
snap
play
at
it.
Bubba,
people.
give him snaps.
I will never
Do
snap.
it. Give it.
Yeah. I used to play.
I'm a clapper. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that.
That's close
I'm not
enough.
doing
We
it.
got it.
No.
I used to play at this
no.
coffee shop called M's Fine and Mellow Cafe.
I remember that place.
And it was like people did clap, but it was everything else was just like it was like, well, we prefer if you don't speak at the tables. And if you were having a conversation at the table while someone was singing, the lady in charge would come and snap at you. Oh,
Dude, when people
there's a couple
snap,
places like that in Nashville, actually, where they don't let you talk.
do they let you clap at least?
Yeah, I think the snapping
golf
thing has
clap.
kind of gone.
That snap, oh no.
Yeah.
I still see it every once in a while. It
Yeah.
pops up, and I'm like, they do that thing, and I'm like, what in the world? Are you just stupid?
Making it rain. Remember you make it rain and when you went to Vacation Bible School? Y'all never
Maybe
did
like
that?
No.
Because that's not when you say make it rain.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't think of
sparkle
spirit
fingers.
fingers.
No. It's where you
I think of
you start going.
throwing dollar bills in the air.
You kind of, and then you
Oh,
start.
no.
No, we never did that.
No.
What? Man, y'all need to find Jesus. Find Jesus
I
and
don't
make it
know
rain.
what
I
that
don't
has to
remember
do with-
Jesus teaching me to snap.
Jesus
you
is
went
like,
to the
make
wrong
it
church.
rain.
You went to the wrong church. Sounds like you should go.
Well,
to
James
the
Vanderbeek and I went to the same church, so obviously it was
All right, are we done? It's time.
late.
The Holy Church of
We got
Vanderbeek.
stuff to do, man.
Yes, I guess we're done. For those of you watching on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you may be, you're going to miss out on a really cool interview that we have with Jameson Rogers, who makes it rain in the studio, and he'll do that for you right after the closing jingle.
Yeah, I got
Done by
Me
Patrick.
and James Vanderbeek have got to go to Graceland, so we got to go. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
is he outside right now?
Yes.
He's in the Uber. Oh, y'all driving together?
We're driving right
Thelma
together,
and
man.
Louise in it?
Yes.
Like an old,
Like in the old
caddy.
days.
Got a
Got
Cadillac.
to do this thing.
Got a convertible
No,
Cadillac.
I don't like the wind through my. It messes my hair.
I
don't like
got
that.
you. You got the big oversized sunglasses though. Oh
Yeah, I got those.
Scarf.
Driving off a cliff together.
well, he needs one for his forehead because otherwise he'd be blind in other drivers.
Wow, Carson.
Look at that. Look at that. With that one piece of hair coming down, just like he does. He's a good looking. He's a good looking man though, right, Carson?
Who? Vanderbeek?
Come on, right?
No.
Vanderbeek looks like your crush. Looks like Manning. He's got the same forehead.
You hush. You hush.
You see the hatred on her face just now?
His younger brother's better looking.
I mean,
Oh, what's
There you
his
go.
younger brother's name?
Jared, because of course they're all J's.
Oh, can I get Jared Vanderbeek on?
James,
Beek
Jared,
on the
and
show?
Juliana.
I am looking up Jared Vanderbeek.
we're gonna
just-
work our way all the way through the whole Vanderbeek family. Who's this? I'm David Vanderbeek. What do you do? Well, I'm an insurance
the uncle.
consultant. And so you don't act? No, I don't.
That's Jared. Is he still better looking?
Ooh.
Yeah, he's better looking than the. Okay, look at these two. He's better looking than the brother, for sure. He was much cuter when we were in high school.
You know you want to go look.
I don't. I really don't. I really am done.
Okay.
Anyway.
Thank you, everyone.
This was the podcast, but now it's over. But that's okay.
Thank
You
God.
can listen to the regular show on the radio every day.
It was.
It was the podcast.
Check Spotify for Katie